back to my channel. Stop and click this card right up here and watch the video that I posted before this one. Then come back to this video and then everything will make sense to you, okay? Good, thank you, thank you. Oh, and while you're at it, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment on that video, and then also subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much. Anyways, today's video, we are going to be focusing on tips to selling on Mercari. You guys should be familiar with the app by now because I'm hoping that you're taking full advantage of it now. If you cannot tell by the username, my name is Katie, and if you could not recognize this look, that means that you have not been supporting your girl. That means that you not catching up on the videos, you're not current. So before we continue with this video, I need you to, we're gonna go ahead and move on to tips to selling on Mercari, just some things that I've personally done that I found success in. Like I told you guys in the other video, I do have my computer over here with my notes, so you'll see me looking over here, but let's go ahead and get into today's video. Tip number one, we're gonna talk about bundling. Bundling. And a lot of people, I've had a few of my friends that text me and they said that they didn't really understand the concept of that. So the best way that I can actually explain it to you guys is, for you guys that don't know, I've worked at Sephora. They are so rude. Anyways, sorry. I worked at Sephora for a few months, and for you guys that I think it's pretty common in most industries, but we have this thing called upselling. And to explain it to you guys, upselling is if you, the customer, come in for a foundation, then it is my job as an employee at Sephora or any place really, to go ahead and try to get you to spend more money. It is what it is. So for instance, if you come in looking for a foundation, I'm gonna say, okay, this is the foundation that you're looking for. It's gonna provide you this and that. It does this, blah, blah, blah. It's beautiful, all that jazz, right? And then I'm gonna be like, well, do you have a primer to go with that foundation? And you're gonna be like, and I'm gonna be like, let me show you this primer over here, and then we're gonna get you a primer. And then I'm gonna say, okay, we got a primer and a foundation. You obviously need a concealer to top, you know, and make you more radiant. So we're gonna get you a concealer. And it don't stop there. We also gonna get you a powder. We also gonna give you a highlight to add that youthful, dewy, glowy look back to your skin after the powder done took it away. Now we gotta set it, so I'm gonna get you a setting spray. And then of course, if we're gonna get you a setting spray, we just gotta do the whole things, right? So that's called upselling, which I use that same formula or format on my app or on the app of Mercari, and I use that in a bundle deal, right? So for instance, I see that you're interested in a specific skirt or whatever it may be. We're gonna take a skirt for instance. You know, you buy this skirt, then I'm gonna come right back in and be like, hey, you know, I have a shirt that would go perfect with that skirt. I'm gonna send it to you. You're gonna be like, oh, that's cute. And I'm be like, look, I have it listed for $20, but since you already bought the skirt, then I'm gonna give you this $20 shirt for the low price of $15. And they can be like, oh, it's too high. I'd be like, you know what, you right, $13. And they can be like, okay, cool. And then we're gonna bundle that together. And if you really want to get snazzy and jazzy, then you're gonna come back and you be like, you know what, I got the perfect necklace and bracelet to even complement that a little bit more. Now normally I have this bracelet and necklace, you know, going for about $30 for the set, but because you've already purchased 2 items from me, then I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in there for the low price of $15. And the customer's gonna be like, oh my god, $15 after 30, that's gonna be so good, right? And the good thing for you is not only did you just sell technically 4 items, but all you have to do, because it's going to the same customer, is bundle that all up into one package, which means that your shipping is going to be one amount, meaning that you're not gonna have to pay multiple shipping prices for different items. So it's a win-win for you, it's a win-win for them. Like, everything is all good in the hood. So if you can, try to bundle or upsell your customer as much as possible. And then a lot of times I find that my customers, once they find or they, you know, buy or purchase an item from me, they do start to follow me. Mercari has now added a feature to where people can follow you now. If they like your store, if they like your items, if they can see themselves shopping from you again, then they'll follow you, which is good because, again, even if they don't buy or bundle that time, you can re-upload your shop and add more items in, and they may be willing to bundle from you the next time, which leaves me up to my next tip. Is tip number 2, which is always keep your shop full but not too full. So I like to flirt between 15 to 20 items at a time on my shop. Like I said, on average I'm selling things, I'll say anywhere between 2 to 3 days I'm getting something off the site sold. So I never want my items to hit below 15. So I'm always trying to keep things in stock, keep things in rotation, so whoever comes to my page, they're not like, oh, just 5 items, that's it. But I also don't want them to come back and be like, oh wow, like this person has 50 items on their page, I'm overwhelmed, I can't possibly go through all these things, I'm taken back, I gotta go somewhere else, right? So I try to flirt between 15 and 20 items. If you have a lot to sell, then I would say no more than 35 items. I wouldn't really push it over that, but yes, I try to flirt between those numbers. So tip number 3 is to be fair in your pricing, but don't cheat yourself. So to break that down for you guys, if you bought a skirt 2 years ago for $20, you can expect that same skirt that you purchased 2 years ago for $20 to sell on the current market for $20. That's insane, right? The only way that you might, and again, there's still a chance that it won't sell for that price, is if it's a timeless piece. Something, for instance, like a black pencil skirt. No matter what the century, the decade is, a black pencil skirt is still always going to be in style, right? So that's what I would consider a timeless piece. So unless it's something like that, you run the risk of you not getting full price, and again, that item is just sitting on your website. So what I'm saying is, don't be so caught up on how much you originally spent on the item, because if you think that way, you're really not going to make it. You're not going to be able to make a sale on this app because people are there looking for a deal, not to pay full price prices, right? So yes, so that's what I mean by the first part. For the second part, don't cheat yourself. So again, using that same $20 skirts example, so I wouldn't go past, I would say I wouldn't go lower than $13. And the reason why I say that is because there are fees associated with apps like Mercari. Mercari has a 10% seller's fee, so that $13 skirt has now been reduced to $11.70, right? Now, depending on how you actually map it out, again, like I told you guys in the first video, you have the option of either including the shipping in the price, which I highly recommend, or you can have the customer pay for shipping, right? So shipping for that skirt is going to be around $3. You can probably get away with $3 just depending on the type of material, but most skirts you can ship it for $3 through United States Postal Service. So that's going to take your $11.70 down to what, $8.70? Wait, what is that, 10? Yeah, it's gonna take your $11.70 down to $8.70, right? And it just kind of depends on how you do so. If you decide to purchase packaging, like do your own packaging, or if you go into the store like USPS, they do have packaging there. For you guys that don't know, for that particular skirt, if it's like a relatively thin skirt, packaging will probably be padded packaging. You can get an envelope there for about like $1.10, which that would lower you down to what, $7.60. And then you gotta take into accountability the gas that it takes to get to the post office. So it's kind of like, is it really worth it? Just depending on what gas prices are at that time. That's up to you to decide. So I would not go past $13, because at least at $13 you can still make about a $6 to $8 profit. If you go any lower, it's not going to be worth it. So be fair in pricing, but don't cheat yourself. Keep all those factors in mind when selling on the app. Tip number 4, and I wish that somebody would have told me this when I first started on Mercari. Now, if you have a few items to sell, like between 1 to 5 items, and you don't really plan on using the app, then this tip is really not going to pertain to you. But if you're looking at actually trying to make this a side hustle, trying to make a little passive income, then please invest in a scale. I cannot tell you how many times I cheated myself out of additional money going into my pocket because I couldn't figure out the weights, the amount of weights a package had, and I always oversold it than I would rather oversell it than undersell it, right? So again, we're gonna take this skirt example to our grave, right? So a skirt, like I said, it should not cost you any more than $3 to ship a skirt. Again, if it's one of those thin, you know, like thin material skirts, right? It's not anything like a real leather skirt, or it's not anything like a wool skirt or anything like that. If it's just an average material skirt, it's not gonna cost you any more than $3, right? So what I would do, Mercari does this thing where they recommend shipping prices for you depending on the type of item. I beg you, please do not go based off that. They have a picture, I'll try to insert it here for you on the screen, but they have a picture of some earpods, they have a picture of a watch, they have a picture of a shirt, shoes, and electronics, right? And you can pick based off of one of those pictures, and then it'll automatically calculate the shipping for you. Don't go based off that. I'm telling you guys, I've wasted so much money. And then when I tried to understand the calculations, because they calculate it based off of pounds and not ounces, they do like 0.25 pounds, 0.5 a pound to 3 pounds, 3 pounds to 9 pounds, 9 pounds and above, right? It gets so complicated. Like, I didn't understand it because I'm basing it off of ounces and I couldn't really judge it that way. So if you invest in a scale, it's going to save you so much money. And if it was not for the nice lady at the post office, although I wish she would have told me that before I did my biggest drop off, but anyway, she told me, she's like, hey, I don't know what you're really selling here, but you paid for, I think at the time I did a half a pound. She's like, you paid for half a pound, and these items are literally weighing in at 0.25. So to give you guys number wises, because again, this may be confusing for you, 0.5, like half a pound, is the shipping cost for half a pound, $4, and I think 25 or 50 cents depending on which state you're shipping it to. So I think it's $4.25 or $4.50. Keep those numbers in mind. For anything less than a quarter of a pound is going to cost you $2.99, right? So that's about $1.25 difference right there. $1.25, $1.50 difference. So at the time when I did my biggest shipping order, I had 8 orders that qualified for the quarter pound shipping, but I paid for half a pound. So again, that's about $1.25 per package, like a $1.25 difference, and I did 8 of those packages. That's $10 that I cheated myself out of, right? And then in addition to that, I still had a few more packages that I paid for. There's another shipping option from a pound to 3 pounds, which is $5.25 to $5.50 depending on which state you're shipping it to. So again, that's another $1.25 difference. So I had 3 packages of those, so $1.25 times 3, you're looking at $3.75. I cheated myself out of almost $14 that could have been profited and put into my pockets. And my last tip number 5, because my camera is being a butthole and it's overheating again. Tip number 5, it kind of goes hand in hand with tip number 4. This only applies if you're going to be making this full time, or if you're going to, you know, really get into it, is buy your packaging off Amazon, please. Again, this is another way somebody would have told me when I first started selling on Mercari. I had no idea what I was doing. Again, no one around me was really doing it, so I kind of learned everything on my own. So please, please, please go to Amazon to buy your packaging. I'm gonna insert a picture of my packaging right here that I purchased off Amazon. Now, again, I was the one going to the post office or FedEx and buying their packaging. Now, granted, it's not super expensive. You know, like I said, you can get packaging between $1 and $2, which if you're doing it on a small scale, like I said, if you only got a few items to sell, if you only have 1 to 5 items and then you really don't plan on selling much after that, cool, fine, don't worry about it. But if you have a lot of things to sell and you plan on making this a little side hustle for yourself, invest in packaging, because the $1 and $2 adds up. Because again, if you don't have a scale, you're cheating yourself out of almost $14. Now again, that was in addition to what I was cheating myself of out of the packaging. I cheated myself out of $28. So please invest in packaging on Amazon. Amazon is the best way to get your packaging. I'll go ahead and leave a link down below in my description box on where I found my packaging, which again will be right here. Also purchased these little cute little baggies for my makeup, my skincare, for like jewelry, eyeglasses, you know, small stuff. I also brought this roll of stickers right here, and I put it on like the back of my packaging, like right at the seal of it, just so they can see it and they're guaranteed to see it. So that's just some little extra that I wanted to do for my customers. You don't have to do it, but yes, that's going to also save you dollars upon dollars upon dollars. So if you're going to do this full time, invest on these well, obviously not these particular ones if you don't want to, but invest on packaging on Amazon. Again, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for your love and support. Make sure that you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure that you're clicking that little bell that's somewhere on the screen over here for notifications on when I post my video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.